It's the middle of January, and for DJ tech nerds like myself, that means we're all excited for NAMM. Now, NAMM is a once-a-year giant trade show for everything pro audio, from guitars to drums to lighting and of course DJ gear. And one thing gear nerds like myself love to do is make predictions about what might be announced at NAMM, so let's go over what I would love to see this year at the convention. Let's start with Hercules. They had the most talked about piece of DJ tech last year with their T7 controller with the 7-inch moving platters, and I could see them going in that same direction because of the success of the T7. I would love to see a 10-inch version with 10-inch moving platters, maybe even move to a direct drive motor instead of the belt-driven motor. Since the unit would have to be a little bit bigger to support those 10-inch platters, I could see them adding that little bit of extra weight and everybody would still be super satisfied. Next up, Numark. I love what they did to the updates of their Mixstream line, adding a built-in battery, making a completely wireless DJ setup where you could just bring a flash drive and that Mixstream unit and pretty much DJ anywhere. I would love to see a new Mixstream with maybe a bigger screen, but more importantly, please, please, please add bigger pitch faders than those small dinky ones that have been on the Mixstream line so far. And while we're on the topic of in-music, we have to talk about Denon. They're the ones that developed the engine DJ software that's not only in Denon products, but also in Numark like we just discussed. And it's been a while since they've refreshed their top-of-the-line Prime DJ controllers, the Prime 4 and the Prime 2. They're long overdue, and especially with the stems function coming out for Engine DJ, I could see them adding in dedicated controls on something like a Prime 4, give us a huge honking, top-of-the-line DJ controller with a huge screen, maybe even bigger jog wheels, and I think the Denon fans will be really happy. And of course, to round out the in-music brands, we have the top dog, Rane. Now, Rane came out with that Rane 4 controller last year, and while it did okay, it kind of got overshadowed by the other Pioneer DJ controllers. It had some really cool features, but I really want Rane to do another battle mixer. It's really what they're known for, and we haven't seen a new Rane mixer since the 8-track Rane 70 a few years ago, and even that's looking a little long in the tooth. I would love to see an updated Rane battle mixer, maybe even a 72 Mark III, kind of tweak some of the things with the touchscreen. There was a lot of things that were kind of just not fully developed, and I think with the release of the S11 after it, they could do some updating to make that workflow with the 72 a lot easier, because that was one of the biggest complaints with the Rane 72 and why a lot of DJs kind of gravitated towards the 70 instead. Also, another thing that I know a lot of DJs have been asking for a long time is a Rane turntable. Now, while we have the Rane 12s and 12 Mark IIs, they're not a full turntable, and while I love my Rane 12 Mark IIs, I really wish I could still play vinyl on that same setup, especially with the Pioneer Cross 12 that just came out that combines pretty much the functionality of a Rane 12 while still maintaining being a turntable at the same time. I think Rane should come out with something like that, and I think it would definitely sell. And finally, we have to talk about Pioneer DJ. Now, while they had a bunch of hardware releases over the last year, from controllers to mixers and even a new turntable, some of the hardware was met with mixed reviews. And especially with the A9, their top-of-the-line, club standard, club layout mixer, there were some issues with it, and although I know a lot of DJs that were in love with that mixer when it was announced, when they finally got the chance to use it, kind of left you scratching your head in some ways. Specifically, the effects section didn't work exactly the same way it did on the 900 series. I know for me, when I've used the A9, the echo never really felt like it was right on time when I dialed that BPM in the way it would be on a 900 Nexus or Nexus 2. And it just made me second guess using it. Unlike with the 900 Nexus or Nexus 2, I felt right at home after years of using it. And Pioneer has always done a really good job of making it an iteration of the previous mixer when it came to their club standard style mixers, the 4-channel mixers. But the A9 maybe was a little bit too far. I loved a lot of the ideas that they put into it with the 2 separate headphone cues, the locking color effects knob. They just really need to dial in that effect section, and I think it would be a lot better for many DJs out there, and hopefully it's something that could be fixed in a firmware update. I would also love to see them update their battle mixer line. The S7 and S11 have been out for a few years and they could get a refresh, but I'm thinking probably not. And also, this is getting around the time when Pioneer DJ will update their CDJ line. I know the 3000s feel like they've just come out, but they've been out for quite a few years now, and myself included have some gripes with the 3000 that could be fixed, not just in firmware, but a whole new unit would be needed, and I would gladly take a better built 3000. The functionality on the thing is great, but it really needs Wi-Fi. Having streaming services on the CDJs, but having to hardwire in just really doesn't make sense for a lot of DJs out there. There's so many DJ booths around the world that don't have hardline internet. And to get that functionality really up and going, especially with the whole Rekordbox Cloud thing, it really needs Wi-Fi in the units. So that wraps up what I'd like to see at NAMM 2024. And thankfully, I'll be attending NAMM this year, so I'll get a hands-on look at everything that is announced, so expect that in next week's video. Until then, if you're interested in more DJ-related content, go ahead and click on one of the videos right here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.